Hi, welcome back. We've been talking about ways that you can buy real estate in someone else's mind, ways that you can become more memorable and create a lasting impact. In our first episode, we talked about avoiding small talk and how you can be more kind with your assumptions of other people. In the second episode, we talked about how to start a conversation and go deeper into who another person is. Today, we're going to talk about how you continue a conversation and become incredibly memorable. Now, it's not always what you say that makes you memorable, or the way you say it. I mean, you all have brilliant ideas, but those ideas don't always matter so much to other people. In fact, sometimes what makes you most memorable is what you don't say. Your ability to listen to other people. Now, most of you out there have heard of active listening, and I would bet a lot of you have practiced active listening. Well, let's talk today about the benefits of listening more deeply and how you can do it and the dividends it pays off. You see, when you listen to someone, you make them feel heard. You make them feel seen. You make them feel as if you care. Now, I'm going to give you the secret right now to making people feel like you care. Are you ready? This is the secret. If you do this every time, they'll feel like you actually care. Care. That's it. That's the secret. Actually care, and someone else will believe you, and they will feel that way. Now, many of you out there have a lot of difficulty remembering what other people say. You have a hard time listening, and the reason is because we're not always listening for understanding. We're not always listening because we truly care about what the other person says. Oftentimes, we're simply listening to say what we want to say. We're waiting to talk. Now, there's something you can learn from actors here. I coach a lot of actors, and when I'm working with actors, one of the things I tell them is that there's two cues for you to speak. Now, the easy cue is the other character stopped speaking, and now it's your turn to speak. It's in the lines. The writer wrote that. That's the easy cue. But that's not the real cue. The real cue is, what did the other person say that made you want to say your line? Now, it might be in the middle of their line that you got the cue to say something. It might be the second to last word. It might be the first word. You might not have wanted them to speak in the first place, and you're just waiting to get in your 2 cents. Now, when an actor does that, they give the impression that the words they're saying are coming right off the top of their head, that they're not reciting something that was memorized. But you see, we as humans do that too. Oftentimes, we listen to another person, but they'll say something that makes us want to say something, and we stop listening to them. We're formulating our response. We're formulating what we want to say. We might even be formulating the next question we want to ask that person. But the problem is, once you start thinking, you lose your ability to process outside information. This happens to me all the time. I mean, I can't tell you how many times my wife says, "Jason, did you put the milk away?" And I say, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "I told you to put the milk away because it's been out." And I say, "You didn't tell me to put the milk away." And she'll say, "Jason, I told you it's in the blue cup and I need you to put it away. And I told you it was right next to the microwave." And I said, "I have no recollection of that ever happening." She'll say, "Jason, you said no problem. It's the blue cup." And I'll say, "I said that, and here's the problem." Yeah, we had the conversation. She did say that. In the moment, I heard her say that, but I was doing something else. I might have been composing something on my computer. I might have been looking at my phone. I might have been watching television. I might have been doing anything. I might have been playing with our daughter. But the point is, I wasn't giving her my active attention. I wasn't putting everything aside and listening to her in that moment. Now, we all do this, and it's because we multitask. We say to ourselves, "I can do this and I can do that." And yeah, you can. But the thing is, you can't do them both at the same time as well as you can do one of them. That's the problem. That's the reason a lot of you forget people's names as soon as you meet them. But you say, "Hi, I'm Jason." Well, you would say your name. Let's imagine it's me. "Hi, I'm Jason." And that person said, "Hi, I'm Tony Stark." And 5 seconds later, I forget his name is Tony Stark because I'm thinking about the next thing I want to say. And it might be about Tony Stark. I might want to say, "Well, that's a beautiful suit. It's so shiny. Where'd you get that?" But as soon as I'm thinking that, I'm losing what he said. So there's your first step to listening better. You got to listen without bias. You've got to listen without formulating what you want to add to the conversation. You have to listen like you're reading a book. Process the information as it's coming in. Now, how many times are you reading a book, you get to the bottom of the page and realize, I have no idea what I just read? It's because you were thinking about something else. Well, with a book, it's no problem. You just go back to the top of the page, reread it. But with a person, that person feels unheard. They feel as if you don't care. So that's the second tool. The second tool is when you're speaking to another person, pretend as if that is the only person in the world. The moment that you're speaking to them, that is the most important person in the world. And they should be, because you're the most important person in the world, as we talked about last week. So if you're giving that person your attention, then it must be pretty darn important. So if you can just separate the outside world, if you're going to have the conversation, have it. If you're going to do it, do it. So by listening better, you become more memorable. You make people feel that you are different than other people because you care. So when it comes time for someone to sing your praises, you get your praises sung. Because they say, wow, she just gets me. Hey, you want to know who makes me feel great all the time? She makes me feel great all the time because she remembers the things I tell her. She acknowledges what I'm saying and how I feel. Now, this is easy to conceptualize, but it's hard to do. I work with people around the world on ways that they can be more memorable, ways they can listen better, but I don't do it very well. I can coach it, but I can't always do it. So practice this every day, and here are 2 tips on how you can practice. Think about whomever it is in your life who's the closest to you. It might be your best friend, it might be a family member, it might be your partner, it might be your children. Whomever it is, practice with that person, because that person knows your shorthand. That person forgives you for all of your trespasses. So if you can listen to that person better, and that person tells you like a week later, something's different, you know you're getting it right. The second way to practice this is with complete strangers. Are you the person who, when you're on a plane, you can't stand when the person next to you speaks to you? Or when you're on a line at the supermarket or at the bank, or when you're walking down the street and that one neighbor just won't leave you alone? Well, this time, choose not to be the person that brushes it off. Lay down some boundaries. Say, hey, listen, I have about 5 minutes before I have to be somewhere, just so you know. And then lean into a conversation and get to know that person better. And see what you figure out. There's no stakes there. It doesn't matter. If you failed, who cares? Listening matters. Before we end, I want to leave you with this. When I was 21 years old, my older sister Danielle, she had an internship at Good Morning America, which is a very popular morning show in the United States. And I was home for the winter holiday, and it turned out that on one of those days, Robin Williams was going to be the guest. And my sister knew I love a Robin Williams. I'm a huge fan. I thought he was amazing. And she got me on set. And she said, listen, he'll be there, but don't talk to him, right? And my sister was very embarrassed of me at that age. And rightfully so. Anyway, long story short, I found myself alone in a room. The door opens, and it's Robin Williams. He comes in, and he sits with me, and we talk for 30 minutes. And all he did was ask me about, I was a drama student at the time at the University of Miami. I had just lost out on a role that I really wanted, and I was starting to feel bad about myself. Like, had I just spent 3.5 years studying acting and I'm not any good at it? And now Robin Williams, one of the biggest stars in the world, was asking me about why I'm an actor and what I've been doing and what are the plays I've done and do I do musicals and do I dance and have I thought about stand-up comedy? Next thing you know, 30 minutes gone by and he made me feel like I was on top of the world. He goes on, he does his interview, and before he leaves, he says, hey, let me get a picture with this kid. And I had a picture with him. And I'll never forget that. Yeah, he was a superstar celebrity, so it's easy to remember. But I'll never forget the way he made me feel. Because he made me feel seen. Now, he probably forgot about me in less than 24 hours. But that story remains. The way you make another person feel, that's gold. That's gold. And it's gold that you can give to somebody else, and they don't even have to do any digging. Well, I hope you've liked this episode. As always, like and subscribe if you want more. My email, is right there if you need to reach me. And tune in tomorrow for our final episode on how to buy real estate in someone's. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.